Welcome to the Switchblade Sisters Social Club. Yet another true crime podcast where two middle-aged friends exploit their worst fears for your entertainment. You're welcome.
For more information, find us on Instagram and Facebook or check out our website at www.switchbladesisterssocialclub.com. Audience discretion advised.
Switchblade Sisters Social Club. This is Dee, and over there we've got
Hi.
Emma. This is a true crime podcast where two friends exploit their worst fears for your entertainment. You're welcome. And I'm
I like
wearing
that you
something.
didn't say middle-aged friends there.
I took
I
that bit
prefer
out.
that.
Yeah. I've got something to show everyone.
Oh, I should have mine on. I know. We said we'd wear them the next time. Sorry, I failed.
Yeah. So these are the swiggings. How cool they are.
Awesome. I like your socks too.
Yeah, thanks.
They're so cute.
And also, I just want to give a shout out to Murder Apparel because this t-shirt is awesome.
It is.
I got that after you sent it to me. You sent me a
I know weirdly it came up on my Insta. I don't know what that says about me, but
I hate when the algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. Yeah. In other news, by the time this episode's come out, we will have two at least episodes of Drunk Formula One out.
My bulldogs make cameo appearances, and Max especially.
Not awesome. Cameo, they were the star of the show.
To be fair, yes, they were. Mm-hmm. They were the star of the show.
You and I made cameo appearances. So there's some reels on Instagram from that, and you can watch the full episodes. I edited them down heavily. You don't have to watch the whole Grand Prix again. It's 15-minute long episodes of us just going from sober to really sloppy and commenting on Formula One and each other.
I think we're absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, I thought it was quite funny too. A little bit mortifying, but also hilarious. Yeah. It's when I was trying to tell you that there was definitely someone called Dick Burger in Formula One.
Yeah, you know, Dick Burger, that really well-known Formula One driver. Oh my God.
And I was convinced, even though I know nothing about Formula One, but there 100% was a driver called Dick Burger that you just didn't know about, despite being called Dick Burger.
Of course. What the driver that she was actually referring to was Felipe Drugovich. So apologies to him. It is not Dick Burger. And he is a Brazilian well, he's not in Formula One at the moment, but he was a test driver.
Yes, my apologies. Can I blame my dyslexia on this? I don't know.
I don't think so.
Well, today we've got some very exciting stuff going on because, for a start, when we do our Dee and Emma do dating at the end, we've got some relationship advice coming up.
Whoa.
I know. Someone is actually going to help us. So
finally.
We need it. But until then, we've got Emma presenting another one. So exciting.
Okay. Right. So
I'll get to you. Yes, please.
Okay, so my last episode was obviously the M25 rapist. So I'm keeping with a bit of a theme for this one.
Motorways?
Well, the M25 again.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you like how I called that episode Highway to Hell?
Yes, brilliant. Brilliant. Mm-hmm. And then this one is not as grim. Well, it depends what you define as grim, but it's not great either. And this is another example of a fucking awful man. I should also let everybody know that I'm hating on men today.
We both
no
have
particular reason.
Well, we both have our period. And we have actually synced our period so much that we came on within...
I kind of think that's a bit TMI, if I'm honest.
We came on this time within 4 hours of each other.
Yeah.
And Emma was like, because I always ask her, when is our period due? And she said, you should track it on like the Clue app, which I used to do. And I told her, why? I don't need to. I just ask you. And
Do
I
you think
think
it's
that's
worrying that we've synced? Like,
no, I think it's worrying that I just rely on you to tell me when I'm my period, though. I think this might be what our joint counselor has referred to as our codependent relationship.
yes,
Anyways,
yes, very much so.
tell me about some true
Sorry,
crime stuff.
I will then. Let's get on to actually what we're here to talk about. Okay, so I'm going to talk about a lovely man called Kenneth Noye. So this case is a case of police corruption, theft of gold, road rage, extradition, and murder.
Oh, so just all of the things, huh?
Yeah, covers mostly everything.
Okay.
So Kenneth James Noye was born on the 24th of May 1947 in Bexley Heath in Kent, where his father ran a post office and
That's
his
not why I'm
mother.
laughing. I could just hear Mabel snoring.
Yeah, I'm so exciting to her that she snores away.
Oh, bless her. Yeah, so he
Yeah.
was born in Bexley Heath.
Yeah, so his father ran a post office and his mother a dog racing track. So apparently his dishonesty first showed itself when he was only 5 years old, after his mother caught him taking money from the till in the branch of the Woolworths whilst she had been talking to the shop assistant.
That's next level theft. I mean, kids do experiment with shoplifting, don't they? But it's normally like a candy bar. It's not normally direct from the till at age 5. That's like
I got caught stealing, I think it was, I don't know if you remember the marathon bars.
Yeah, they became Mars. Snickers, yeah.
And yeah, I got caught stealing one of those. But yeah, I wasn't brazen enough to go behind the till and take money. So yeah, nice. He was also known as a bully at his school in Bexley Heath. And he basically ran a protection racket with his fellow pupils at school. So this guy was next level. He left school at 15 and started stealing bicycles. So I think that's obviously what he escalated to. And he also was clever about it because he altered the appearance of the bikes. And then because of that and other crimes, he spent a year in Borstal.
It already sounds like one of those cases, sorry, where if he's clearly clever and enterprising, if this was used for good, he'd be like the next, I nearly said Elon Musk, but he's one of the most evil people on earth, allegedly.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? He would have accomplished some amazing shit.
Absolutely. Yeah. And even so, like, he also then met a barrister's legal secretary, a lady called Brenda Tremaine, who later became his wife. He bizarrely turned into a police informant, but then that enabled him to establish a relationship with corrupt officers. And then when he used this for when he was arrested for receiving stolen goods in 1977, he also became a Freemason. And in 1980, and he was actually proposed, because I think you have to be proposed to be a Freemason. And
by 2 people in a lodge.
Yeah, so he was proposed by 2 police officers.
Well, so yeah,
his links went deep. And apparently he gave his occupation as a builder at that point, which is just bullshit. One of Noye's police contacts persuaded a customs officer not to target him, whilst his tip-offs to the Met Police flying squad were reportedly a means to prevent competition from rival criminals.
So basically, they were like turning a blind eye to his activities because they claimed they were using him to catch bigger bad guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Slippery slope, though, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So then he did actually build up a legitimate haulage business to use as a cover. And having initially been refused planning permission for a mansion on a plot of land he owned, he was able to gain consent in a subsequent application shortly after his bungalow on the site was destroyed in a fire caused by an electrical fault. Exactly. So then he was involved in laundering a huge quantity of stolen gold bullion taken during the Brinkmat robbery on the 26th of November 1983. So whilst he was being investigated for his involvement in the crime, he fatally stabbed Detective Constable John Fordham, who was involved in the police surveillance of Noye, on the grounds of his home in January 1985.
So he killed a police officer while he was under investigation.
Yeah.
Wow.
But he was acquitted of murder on the grounds of self-defense in December of that year, but he was found guilty in July 1986 of conspiracy to handle some of the gold and of a conspiracy to evade VAT. You know, those classic gold and VAT.
Yeah.
Obviously.
But never mind the murder.
No. I mean, that's just, from what I could see in my research, it's barely even mentioned. And like the self-defense aspect is just such bullshit. Like, he just used these corrupt cops to get him off, allegedly.
Allegedly.
So after he was convicted for the VAT and the gold handling, he shouted to all of the jury, "I hope you all die of cancer." Nice.
Ouch. What a lovely guy.
I know, right? So the discovery of the gold had surprised the six-man robbery crew, as they expected to find 3 million in cash. They hadn't expected to find gold, and obviously that comes with having then to get rid of it. And none of their contacts had any experience of dealing with gold, let alone 6,800 bars, which was worth 26 million in 1983.
So that's like, I'm going to guess over 100 million now.
Yeah, probably.
I'm going to Google. Hang on, I need to Google this. How much is, what was it, 23?
26 million.
Million pounds. Now, wait, in 1983? Worth now. Okay, inflation calculator. Fucking hell, how many zeros in 23 million? It's a joke. 26 and 6, I know. Okay, calculate. Oh my God, 110 million today.
Wow.
And yeah, like, what the fuck do you do with 110 million in fucking gold coin, in gold bullion? You're not going to be going to the post office to pay for your fucking, you know, the curse.
And also, the thing is that 6,800 bars of gold, like, these bars are heavy as well. So like, gold is really fucking heavy. So that's a lot.
And what do? You just have to proceed with the robbery, don't you? You're not gonna.
Yeah. But imagine expecting 3 million in cash and being presented with all this gold. I think your initial reaction is going to be like, holy fuck, that's amazing. And then you're going to go, oh shit.
Oh, it's really heavy.
Yeah, how do we actually move this stuff?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so they had the problem that they had no contacts of how to get rid of this gold as well. So a guy called Mick McAvoy, one of the thieves, asked another guy, Brian Perry, to conceal the gold that he had received, and it was Perry who brought in Noye and John Palmer, who was subsequently nicknamed Goldfinger, of course. Palmer was acquitted in 1987 of knowingly handling. My God, I can't speak. Palmer was acquitted in 1987 of knowingly handling gold from the robbery. Again, how, why, just.
Why do we all get so worried about committing crimes when you have so much evidence about how you can just get off? Like, I get nervous driving a car next to a police car in case I do a little thing wrong by accident and they do me for it. And these people are getting acquitted of murder, handling gold bullion.
I know.
Bonkers.
So what Noye did was he melted down as much of the gold as he had, and he mixed it with copper coins in an attempt to disguise its origins. Although 11 gold bars from the robbery were found hidden at his home, so he didn't melt down all of it. So he was sentenced to 14 years and fined £500,000 with £200,000 costs. He was released in prison in 1994, having served 8 years. And in a civil action brought by the loss adjusters of Brinkmat's Insurance, 3 million was recovered from Noye whilst he was imprisoned. So that's good, at least.
I mean, it's going to be 3 million that he's obtained illegally.
Well, yeah. So Noye was thought of as the most powerful gangster in the UK at that time, but what ultimately led to his undoing was a road rage incident. So on the 19th of May, this is quite sad. This is sad, actually. So on the 19th of May, 1996, while on release from prison on licence, he was involved in a road rage incident with a 24-year-old motorist called Stephen Cameron on the slip road of the M25 motorway near Swanley in Kent. Cameron's girlfriend had been driving his van and was not used to it, which led to a minor collision with a Land Rover, which Noye was in. Noye stabbed Cameron, who was unarmed, to death, basically, with a 9-inch knife. He then fled the country with assistance from Palmer, who was involved in the gold stealing. But he later claimed that he barely knew Noye. And while Noye was on the run, Detective Constable John Donald was jailed for 11 years for passing confidential information onto him. So he was still, even then, getting help from corrupt police officers.
So this guy has managed to evade. I mean, I know he did some jail time, but a ridiculously little amount considering all the bad shit he was up to. And then he just loses his shit. So he must be fairly methodical, organized, this, that, and the other. He's melting down bullion and mixing with copper coins. But he just has a bad day in the fucking roads and just everything goes tits up for him for that reason.
Yeah.
He has to flee the country.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then and not forgetting this guy killed a police officer beforehand.
I mean, he's awful.
I know. He is.
So where do we know where he fled to? What country? Fled. Foreign! I'm foreign!
Yes, so I'll come to that. So Dennis
Can I guess? South of Spain. No?
Benidorm.
Benidorm.
Probably. No, I'll come to that.
Okay.
So Dennis, and this guy's got a great name. Dennis McGugan, head of Kent's police major crime unit at the time, was tasked with finding Stephen's killer. Cameron's girlfriend was pivotal in helping police track Cameron's murderer. They tracked down the L Reg Land Rover and found that it had been valeted and a flick knife seen in the glove compartment by the valeters. Sorry. They tracked down the L Reg Land Rover and found that it had been valeted. Fuck's sake, I really can't fucking talk today.
It's great for a podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? They tracked down the L Reg Land Rover and found that it had been valeted. And whilst it had been valeted, a flick knife had been seen in the glove compartment and a document which had the name Anthony Francis on it. So the police initially named Anthony Francis as the man they wanted to question in Stephen's murder. By December 1996, so the murder happened in May. By December 1996, this name was found to be a false identity used by Noye after the Land Rover discovery registered in his name and matching the vehicle driven by Cameron's killer was unloaded in Cyprus in July that year. Noye was not found in Cyprus. I think they looked for him, they didn't find him. So a police hunt assisted by GCHQ found Noye in Spain, where he was arrested in the resort of Barbat. Sorry if that's not how you say it, but it's near Gibraltar. And he was found on the 28th of August, 1988. So 2 years later, which is a bit shit.
That's long enough to work on a nice tan in the south of Spain.
Yeah, have a good life with all that gold.
He did not deserve that tan.
No. So Stephen Cameron's girlfriend was secretly flown out to positively identify Noye.
That poor girl.
I know. And she she did this, and the day before they arrested him. So he lost an appeal against his extradition from Spain 7 months later, so still had another 7 months there. And he was extradited to Britain in May 1999, 9 months after his arrest, and went on trial 10 months later. At trial, Noye claimed not to be a violent man. I beg to differ. And again pleaded self-defense, because obviously it worked for him before. He claimed to have fled because the police hated him and he feared not receiving a fair trial. Cameron's girlfriend testified against Noye, and so did Alan Decalbre, sorry again for the pronunciation, stating that he saw the fight between Noye and Stephen on the motorway slip road, and that he told the jury that he saw Noye lunging forward with a knife and stabbing him. Testimony that helped convict him, basically. The defense
he had a knife.
Yeah, exactly. So the defense had attempted to discredit this witness, saying he was an unreliable witness who credited an edifice of lies in agreement with the police. So Noye was found guilty on the 14th of April 2000 after the trial held in conditions of high security. Noye was convicted of murder by the jury's majority verdict of 11-1 after their deliberations had lasted 8 hours and 21 minutes. And he was given a life sentence by Lord Justice Latham.
Wow.
The girlfriend was given a new identity under the witness protection program, because this guy
was connected.
So many links to so many people.
So her whole life is ruined all over again, basically, because she's got to start again.
Exactly. And she was praised by the police for her courage in giving evidence, and
praised by us.
Yes, absolutely. Good on you, girl. Well done. That took some balls.
Yeah.
So yeah, the police praised her for her courage in giving evidence in the presence of Noye, because obviously she had to stand up in court and face him. And to this day, only sees her mum twice a year. So the witness, Alan, declined protection and was shot dead in his car in front of shoppers through his open window in Ashford in Kent. Yeah.
Oh my God.
5th of October 2000, so 6 months after Noye's conviction. So she was right to go into police protection, because, yeah, that's horrendous.
Oh my God. It's so sad, because you hope that people will speak up against things like this, but this is exactly the fear that people have about getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. So that apparently police sources were in no doubt that he was killed by a professional hitman. I mean, no shit, I could have told you that. And they also stated that he had been questioned about gun smuggling, had extensive criminal contacts, and his estranged wife later admitted that he had been a drug dealer who owed money to many others.
So they're trying to make out like it was unrelated to
it
this.
Sounds like it.
Like, oh no, it could have been any of the other people he's fucked off.
Yeah.
And also, estranged wife tells me not on good terms wife, right?
I mean, you're never going to say good things, are you? Basically. So Noye was questioned by police, and they concluded that the unsolved murder had no proven connection with Noye and did not charge him. I mean, it could have been him. It could not have been him. This really pisses me off. The whole thing pisses me off, but this really,
really no, he got out after 5 minutes.
I'll come on to that. Despite his evident wealth and his defense costs of around £250,000, and some costs for you know what I'm going to say, of his initial appeal were funded by legal aid.
How was he eligible?
So the taxpayer fucking paid his legal fees. What the actual fuck is going on with that?
How was he eligible for that, though? Oh, because he's so used to like hiding his money here, there, and everywhere. He's probably officially very poor, huh?
It was probably all in Spain. and therefore he was poor.
Ugh.
But there was an inquiry into this
Okay.
from the Lord Chancellor's Department, and they found that the correct legal aid procedures were not followed as a result of carelessness rather than corrupt practice. One official was reprimanded and another resigned.
I don't know what's better or worse, carelessness or corruption. You kind of hope that there's going to be neither in an official government body.
I mean, again, I think his little tentacles ran wide.
Yeah.
So after this witness Alan's murder, Noye's defence team, led by Michael Mansfield QC, continued to attempt to discredit him as a witness in order to win Noye's release. Before he died, Alan had received death threats in relation to his involvement with the case against Noye, and said that he had been ordered by unknown gangsters to shut up or we will shut you up. He also said that someone had pushed 3 bullets through his letterbox with a warning. After the trial, he had notably said, "I look over my shoulder every time I go to Sainsbury's." The murder took place in the car park of a Sainsbury's Bybrook superstore. Why Sainsbury's? Just like,
well, if
maybe
he
if he'd
said
gone
that,
to Tesco, maybe if he'd gone to Tesco that day, he would have still been alive.
Oh, but that's clear.
I know.
They've heard him make that quote, haven't they?
Yeah. So the police investigated whether he was killed as part of a fight between rival biker gangs over drugs, and witnesses to the murder in the retail park said they had heard him beg for his life before a young man in a woolly hat shot him. So on the 10th of October 2001, and again in 2004, Noye appealed unsuccessfully against his conviction. He was again represented by Michael Mansfield. In 2007, a legal challenge was made against the Criminal Cases Review Commission decision not to refer his case to the Court of Appeal as legally flawed. Now, I don't know why it was legally flawed.
Say that bit again. Sorry, there's a lot of words I didn't understand. So they...
They put together a legal challenge in 2007, and that was made against the Criminal Cases Review Commission's decision not to refer his case to the Court of Appeal as legally flawed. So the Court of Appeal is, so obviously he keeps appealing his conviction, and the Court of Appeal is the highest appeal court you can go to in the country. And they're saying that it basically should have gone to the Court of Appeal, and for some reason it didn't.
And they're saying it was flawed, the reason why it didn't go higher.
They think that, yeah.
So basically he's being a Karen about it. He wants to speak to the manager.
Exactly. That's exactly it.
That's the legal equivalent. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So again, if you're looking at the appeals, he appealed in 2001, 2004, 2007, and then in 2008, on a new legal challenge, they granted permission, the judges, so Lord Justice Richards and Mrs. Justice Swift. So it's not Justice the first name.
Yes, I know that now. Justice means they're a judge, not that they were born to be a judge, but they're not mutually exclusive.
Exactly. So they actually granted permission for a one-day judicial review hearing covering their decision not to send the case to the Court of Appeal. So judges can do, so you get a completely different set of judges to judicially review. And that just means in terms of when you judicially review something, it's judges who review it.
Okay.
It's just a fancy way of saying that. So it's almost like, so he got a review of the reasons not to send the case to the Court of Appeal. So in 2010, Noye had the minimum term, Noye's bid to have the minimum term he must serve for murder reduced. It was rejected. So Mr. Justice Simon, a High Court judge sitting at Newcastle, ordered that he must spend at least 16 years in jail before he could be considered for parole.
So
On the
he's not
14th
appealing against his charge. He's not saying I didn't murder this person. He's now just trying to get his sentence reduced.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So on the 14th of October of that year, he was granted a fresh appeal against his conviction. So you have to apply to be able to appeal. You can't just appeal and it goes straight to an appeal court. You have to apply and have like good reasons to be able to have your appeal looked at. So he was granted a fresh appeal against his conviction for Stephen Cameron's murder, but it was rejected again on the 22nd of March 2011. By this point, yeah, he was reported to have been moved from the Category A prison to a Category B prison. And in September of 2011, he was formerly a Category C prison. So my understanding is that those Category A is like really severe terms, like you get loads of your freedoms taken away from you. But
yeah,
Category
high
C,
security, maximum security. Yeah, and then lower security, more, I don't want to say casual jail, but casual jail.
casual jail.
Casual jail.
He appealed again in 2013 and it was dismissed.
I mean, what's different? If he's got to provide a case for why it can go to appeal, like what's happening that's different now? You know, what new evidence is there?
His Michael Mansfield, I guess, his QC was looking at this and clutching at straws, basically.
Yeah, and obviously he's getting paid, isn't he? So he's like,
yeah. And he's using a QC. Now, QCs are the top barristers that you can get. They're obviously at the time Queen's Counsel. So now they're King's Counsel. But you have to be invited to be King or Queen's Counsel. It's a big privilege. But they're also really fucking expensive.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. Probably still on legal aid. So on the 13th of February 2015, BBC News reported that Noye had been granted a parole hearing. The parole board said that the case had been referred by the Secretary of State. So this was being looked at by the government, which is crazy. He was refused permission to move to an open prison by Justice Secretary Michael Gove.
Okay. One good thing Michael Gove has ever done in his life.
Yeah. This was in 2015. After such a move had been recommended by the parole board. So yeah, Michael Gove overrode the parole board, which is good.
Yeah.
However, in the High Court, Mr. Justice Lavender accepted a legal challenge in February 2017 that Michael Gove had failed to give proper or adequate weight to the recommendation of the parole board.
So Michael Gove tried to do something good, but fucked that up because he just can't be good.
Yeah, exactly.
Allegedly. Okay.
So Noye now has a new QC, Edward Fitzgerald, and he said, this QC said during the previous month's hearing that the board had noted that he had made significant progress in changing his attitudes and tackling his behavioural problems.
So when they're applying for parole now, again, that's not him saying that the charge, disputing the charge anymore. It's just him saying, I've served my time now, can I be released? Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
So they're trying to claim that he's like, they're trying to claim now that he's reformed character, that he's done enough time to change as a person.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So I know there's lots of names in this, I'm sorry.
They're all justice, so it's fine.
Yeah, lots of people involved in this. Again, taxpayers' money. So Counsel for the Justice Secretary, Tom Weisselberg, QC, said Gove had doubted Noye had reformed. So Gove saw through him and considered there was and considered there was a risk he would escape because of his connection to Spain. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. It was announced in August 2017 that Gove's successor, David Luddington had agreed Noye should be moved to an open prison. It was said by the parole board that this change was not in preparation for Noye's release. Yeah, okay. Around March 2018, Noye was moved to HM Prison Stanford Hill on the Isle of Sheppey, which is in Kent. I used to have a very good friend that lived there. And this is a low security prison with day release provision for prisoners. In May 2019, the parole board announced that Noye was suitable for return to the community and he would be released from prison within about 3 months. So on the 6th of June 2019, age 72, Noye was released from prison after serving 20 years for the M25 attack. The parole board considered risks associated with his release due to his readiness to carry and use weapons and because I'll start that again. So the parole board had considered risks associated with his release due to his readiness to carry and use weapons, because obviously he had that flick knife on him when he killed
As you do in your
Stephen.
glove compartment. Yeah.
I mean, I've got one in mind, don't you?
Yeah. No, I've got a harpoon. First weapon I could think of. All right. Okay.
Harpoon. And they also looked at Noye not being able to resolve arguments reasonably at key moments, as he did not always control extreme emotions well.
I mean, that's a fucking understatement of the fucking century, isn't it? He can't control arguments well. He fucking stabbed someone because a bit of a fucking fender bender.
Exactly. So they to their credit, they did look at this. However, they concluded that any perceived risks could be managed in the community and thus he was suitable for release.
Oh, sorry. Are we policing ourselves now? Okay, good to know. I mean, this is a tricky one because I really want to believe in rehabilitation, right? I think we all do. For society, it's better. Even if you're like, oh, fuck them, they don't deserve it. No, but we deserve it as a society. If people come back out into the the real world, we want them to not still be criminals, not be worse people than when they went in. I just don't know if the system allows for that. And I have a very, I'm very suspicious of the fact that if that is just your way of living in your lifestyle, that the way the prison system is at the moment, that's going to lead you away from that, when actually it seems to just be a bit of a networking opportunity, expand your criminal network while you're in there.
Exactly. I know it's like, where do you have the death penalty? Where, it's all of that. When have you served justice? Like it's so difficult because also on this, so just to end on this, and I do have some pictures because obviously I want people to know if they come across this douchebag. There are several other unsolved murders that have been linked to him, which the police cannot prove. So,
well, I mean, he's killed 2 people that we know of.
Yeah.
Not allegedly, definitely.
Yeah.
Would it be that surprising if there were more? Allegedly, right? I mean,
I know.
Show us some pictures. I want to see.
Okay. Have you given me permission to share? So this is what he used to look like.
Emma Farrington has started. So this is him when he went to jail.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And
he looks like, just for those who are not watching, he looks like just a normal guy, doesn't he? Like,
looks like a granddad, doesn't he?
Well, there he looks like a, yeah.
This is him now. So this is him at age 72.
So this is him when he's come out. What's this fucking LinkedIn profile picture he's taken out? Like, I know. What is this picture for? Is he doing a thing? Like, where he needs these, basically it's like a very staged corporate photo. Is this?
Maybe it's his dating profile.
Oh, fuck off. We're going to find him on dating apps, aren't we? You won't, because he's not in your age bracket, but
definitely not in my age bracket.
Oh my God.
So yeah, so I would definitely tell listeners, check out, I mean, maybe we'll put it on our socials, but
we will.
if you come across this guy, Run.
What's his I keep on thinking Leonard Nimoy, but that's Spock. What is Leonard, what's his name?
No,
Noye.
it's Kenneth Noye.
Kenneth, I was listening, I promise. Kenneth Noye. N-O-Y?
Yeah,
E?
Noye.
What's he doing now? Where is he now? Noye's wife Brenda lives in the East Cornwall town of Looe. Looe is lovely. They have 2 sons, one of whom, Brett, was banned in 2013 from being a company director for 12 years for his part in a 2.4 million investor deception scheme involving a rat poison company. December 2023. Kenneth Noye pulls out as 200 pounds ahead gala after dinner speaker. Oh my God. After he's caught cavorting with Hatton Garden diamond thief.
Yeah, so he hasn't changed.
Okay, so he's basically being some kind of motivational speaker type sitch. That's what that picture is for.
Yeah. So, interesting.
Fascinating. Ugh, the levels of corruption involved in that story,
I know.
beyond, you know, it's terrifying when you think of like the contacts and connections some of these people have to be able to do what they want to do.
I feel so sorry for the girlfriend. Like, I mean, obviously Stephen as well, because he lost his life, but you know, for that was the end of it for him.
Whereas, like, I know, and she saw her partner be murdered in front of her in an act that I imagine she would be reliving, and just fucking awful actually being present for that. And then had to go through everything that she had to go through afterwards, and the fact that she did it. Woo, what a brave woman.
Yeah. And what I don't know and I couldn't find was obviously there was a few years between when they found him or when this happened and when they found him. Like, was she just living her normal life in between then, or did she have to go into witness protection immediately, or was it only when she identified him?
I would imagine it was only after they found him and named him.
Yeah.
The minute they named him, I imagine.
Yeah.
Right, as a suspect. And I don't know what point that would have been at what point, but you said for ages they were looking for someone with a different name because they were looking for
Exactly.
a name that he was actually using as an alias. So I think the minute it became public that they were looking for him or that they'd arrested him, that would be the moment that she has to go into hiding.
So she potentially, I mean, she could have met somebody, she could have, who knows, and then she then has to testify against him, sorry, and change her entire life. Horrendous.
It's just awful. It's so awful.
And now this guy's roaming around living his life.
The other guy that testified that lost his life as well, and they're trying to claim that he was in some criminal shit. I mean, how deeply involved could he be involved in criminal activity if he was willing to go to court to testify against a gangster? Do you know what I mean? Like, it seems unlikely to me that if he was dodgy himself, he'd be like, nope, didn't see nothing, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
And even if he was like involved in a bit of like smoking weed or whatever, like, big difference, isn't there? Oh,
yeah.
I hated that. Thank you. No, thank you very much. We need to lighten the mood, don't we?
100%.
100 bazillion %. So on that note, we're going to take a break and then we're going to come back for some relationship advice and an application from our dear Vicky Underwiggle. I wonder which one of us she wants to date. Probably you, because you guys have so much in common with your love of Take That.
Oh, you're not letting me forget that.
No, but I just think it's cute that you both love Take That. All right, back after the break. Welcome to part 2. We are going to be lightening the mood with the section entitled Dee and Emma Do Dating. And we've got some relationship advice. We begged, we pleaded. It was embarrassing.
We need it. We need it.
Desperate for it, and someone responded. So the only other relationship advice that we had received previously was from my sister, which said, let your sister choose. She ain't wrong. But now we've got one from an anonymous donor. They say, relationship advice. Set boundaries early on. If you've not discovered already, us boys, when given an inch, will take a yard. Okay, so this is relationship advice from a guy. I like that. Setting these non-negotiables early on will stamp out further confusion.
Mm-hmm.
Tolerate dicks. It's an evolutionary fact that when men get with other male friends, they become dicks. Try to be friendly with your partner's friends unless they are complete derogatory, unacceptable dicks. Then outline your reasons for not wanting to socialize with the mega dick. If he still does, then it speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can definitely learn a lot from someone's friends. Definitely.
For sure. Like, I remember a certain ex-husband once telling me that he loved his friends because they made him feel better about himself. And I was like, oh, that's so cute, because my friends make me feel better about myself all the time too. And he was like, yeah, because they're so shitty and like, I can't remember the wording he used, but basically they haven't achieved anything in their lives. So they make me feel better about where I am in my life. And that's not why my friends make me feel better. My friends make me feel better because they're awesome and they're so nice to me and I love being around them. I was like, and that should have been a huge red flag.
Yeah, that's a red flag, definitely.
Yeah. But on the whole, I've normally like got along okay with like partners' friends. But yeah, I agree with that.
I haven't.
I've normally got along better with the friends than the actual partner, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, nightmare.
Celebrate each other's wins. A great person once said, a rising tide raises all ships. Be each other's tide.
Aww. I mean, again, I feel like this is me and you.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh wait, he's talking about relationships, not me and Emma, because yeah, we do that too. So yeah, okay, remember this advice, Emma, is for potentially a partner, yeah, not each other.
Yes.
Stay flirty with each other only. Because I did read that and think, okay, so only flirt with Emma, got it.
Easy, done.
Yeah, okay. You look fabulous, FYI.
So do you.
Dating advice. I only have one piece of dating advice, and I strongly suggest it is followed. Do not, under any circumstances, date somebody who did not score 10 on the apply to date section, especially if they aren't junior dance champions. If he can't win you a holiday by busting out the caterpillar, then what even is the point? Okay, I've put 2 and 2 together. We've got our KP dance champion, Haven dance champion, giving us relationship advice.
Is this the person that applied to date you?
Date either of us.
Oh, either of us, sorry.
Yeah, and who won the dance competition, dancing to Crisscross, remember?
I remember, and the chocolate wine and Prosecco in the fridge.
Yeah, the one who scored 10. All right, okay. I think that we do put any genuine prospective suitors through the apply to date application form process. And yeah,
absolutely
if they don't score higher than 10,
I mean, we shouldn't be going for less than 10.
No.
We should never, don't settle, mantra.
No. We just
do not settle.
Yeah, exactly. And on that note, we're going to go through another application, this one from Vicky Underwiggle. She is my dear friend who has never met Emma, but I know when they do, they will love each other greatly. We're going to Punk Rock Holiday together next year for a start. They are, Vicky always makes me laugh because she's super knowledgeable about the punk scene. We go to loads of gigs, festivals, all sorts. And then also she loves Take That, which is just the cutest, like, contradictory thing ever. And she went recently to the Take That reunion gig, I guess. And she sent me a picture that her friends had taken of her crying at the gig. Like,
aww,
it was so cute. So she fills in. She says her age, 30-something physically, I forget, 182 mentally.
I feel you. I feel
Yeah.
you.
She's in her house in the beautiful Southwest. She lives in Devon and it does look gorgeous. Instagram handle or where we can stalk you online, Vicky Underwiggle. Please like the pictures of my cat. She's got a gorgeous cat called Hazel. She's constantly sending me videos of the gifts that Hazel brings her. Oh, you'll like this. What's in your fridge right now? A bottle of Cornish champagne, 2 bottles of Prosecco, a bottle of bison grass vodka. Is there any food in here? 2 bottles of gin, 1 half-drunk bottle of spiced rum, and 1 almost empty bottle of coffee rum, 1 can of tonic, 4 bottles of Rattler cider, 1 very sad-looking carrot. Not an alcoholic, just like to be prepared if the apocalypse comes.
Love it. I have so much respect for that.
Right, and if the apocalypse does come, you and me are getting in a car and driving to Vicky's house.
Hell yeah.
Do you have any royal blood? Yes, the late Queen Elizabeth almost ran over my foot in her horse and carriage at the Royal Cornwall show. That bitch owes me. True story, by the way. Right. Favorite Ninja Turtle and why? This is proper sister vibes. The blue one, because it pissed my sister off as she didn't like the blue one. I think he's called Leonardo.
He is. Yes, that's Leonardo.
That's younger sister vibes. Perfect first date. Teaching someone all the dance moves to take that. The greatest band that ever existed.
I mean, I can do the dance moves to Could It Be Magic? Just saying.
Oh my God. I bet she can too. And I want to see you. The first time you meet, the first thing I want you to do is that. Are any of your exes crazy because of you? And she says, I made them who they are today. So crazy. Okay. Weird fact about you, I can bend my thumb behind my knuckle. I like cats more than people. I once outdrank an Irishman in a shot competition in Southern Ireland. I won by doing 24 shots of Jameson in a row. I don't like Jamesons anymore.
Yeah, no.
Oh my God, I'm throwing up in my mouth even thinking about that. Wow.
I bet she was so sick for days.
This woman, it's a fucking legend.
Although you didn't say who she wants to date.
Oh yeah, sorry. Oh, she wants to date both of us. We want to date you too. Both of us want to date you too.
And we
Especially
will.
after this. Some things you like. Dee and Emma. That is all.
Oh.
Some things you hate. People who don't like Dee and Emma. Also fascists. What are you
Also
watching?
fascists.
Yeah. Fair. What are you watching on TV right now? Criminal Minds and Ludwig. I'm watching Ludwig as well. It's so good. It's so
I need
good.
to watch that.
Yeah, just lovely, cozy crime. Cozy crime. Last time you cheated on a partner? Pass. Last time you cheated on your taxes? Wouldn't even know how. Oh, bless her.
Aww.
Anything else we should know? Anything you'd like to tell us? Love you! And you're gonna be great, Emma.
Aww.
Oh,
Bless her.
so
Yeah, we're definitely going on a date.
okay, she's also getting a 10.
Yeah.
Right, good. And we're going on a date because we're going to the Christmas markets in
Yeah,
Kingston.
we are. Yes.
So we are actually going on a really cute romantic date with her. The both of us. So, oh love
my
you,
God.
Vicky. Love you, Vicky. Oh, well, I think we got to end on that because that was a proper high, wasn't it?
Although I feel like I need to tell you about my recent escapades.
Okay, yes. We should have started with that. But yes, go on.
So I recently went to Benidorm.
Still makes me laugh, but go on.
I know. Everybody that knows me well, I'm not a Benidorm person. No judgment, but it's not my cup of tea. I like my sleep. I don't like lots of people. It's not really something that you would ever see me do. To case in point, my mum's response to me going to Benidorm, what the fuck are you doing in Benidorm? Exactly. My mum's really posh. So she doesn't swear very often. Anyway, so I would just like to say, I met this really nice guy out there. he was, you know, sweet guy. We got on really well. We spent most of the night talking. Great guy. Really
We
liked
can
him.
name him Tom. It's a common enough name, but Tom.
And yeah, I would say I wasn't expecting anything. Like, just nice to meet a normal, not 21-year-old doing a balloon in a club, which goes on a lot in Benidorm, or a 76 or 56-year-old man, to be fair. So it was just nice to meet someone normal. He was the one that turned around and said, let me take your number. Let's meet up when we get home, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, no worries. If he had turned around to me and said, you know, let's just have a fun night, blah, blah, blah.
Have a nice rest of the holiday. Goodbye.
Yeah, totally cool with that. No issue at all. Then the motherfucker ghosted me. What the fuck? What the fuck? I'm just like,
don't do that, boys. Don't avoid awkward conversations. And also, this wasn't even a case where you had to even avoid an awkward conversation. We expect very little from you, so don't overpromise and underdeliver when we already expect very little from you.
exactly. We are grown-ups. If you are not interested, just say. Don't give all of the fucking,
at the
I'll meet
very
up with
least,
you. I'll take your number.
Yeah. Don't start selling wolf tickets, remember?
Yeah.
False promises. We're not
Exactly.
asking for them.
No. So that's my dating advice to guys. Not that any of you asked for it, but just fucking be real. Like, if you're not into me, just tell me you're not into me. Don't give me false promises. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit.
We ain't got time for it because we are getting old.
And I can also say, you fucking missed out on a prize specimen, mate.
Yes, he did. He's a fucking idiot. But I still believe that he had a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think he probably did. Which, scumbag.
Yeah. Hopefully she finds someone better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ugh. Anyways, Vicky.
Yes, we love you, Vicky.
We love you, Vicky. Vicky will never, ever make false promises to us.
No. I don't think girls usually do make false promises. It's just, we just don't.
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, every time I've not been interested in somebody, I've told them.
Yeah, but you are perfection.
Love you.
Love you too. All right, and you know who else I love? All of our sexy listeners.
Oh, me too. Me too. You guys are great.
And check out our events because we got them on the website.
Yeah, you need to come to the events. My first one.
Coming soon. Don't make me do date math, but I'm pretty sure this episode comes out just before. Might already be sold out, Emma, because we sell out real quick these days.
Because we're fucking awesome.
Yes. All right. Love you.
Love
you,
you.
sexy listeners. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.